My partner, Deion Imade, former OSU Cowboy. Just answer this question for me real quick before we get into football. Did you have to copy the orange and blue suit look that I brought to the table tonight? Did you have to copy that,
sir? See, that's unfair because I woke up before you. I got ready before you.
What do you mean?
And second of all,
how do you know what time I woke up?
I look way better in this than you do.
All right. That may be true.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That may be true.
I
apologize for saying that. All right, we got a lot to talk about. We'll touch on OSU and TU in a moment, but we got to start with the upset of maybe the college football weekend, the biggest story in college football. The Oklahoma Sooners getting upset by K-State over the weekend. 48-41. Defense, no bueno. What are we making of it?
I mean, you got to at least say that you're seeing some inconsistent play from the OU defense. I mean, it all started with that Texas victory in the Red River shootout. They went up. They played great. Everybody was high-fiving and giving them all the pats in the back, and maybe the hype train was a little there. And, I mean, they continue with that with their performance, I mean, throughout the rest of the season. But this game wasn't there. Terrible linebacker play. I mean, you got to give it up to this Kansas State offensive line, though. They did a great job getting second level and getting to those linebackers and making plays. But defensively, the linebackers were just missing tackles in, phone booths kind of space. They were, they weren't filling their right gaps. K-State's Skylar Thompson made them look silly multiple times inside the red zone.
Yes, he did.
It was hard to watch as far as a defensive guy like me who likes to see good defense. Very hard to watch. And also, they didn't tackle well. And I know I said that before, but that's something that's very important to point out. They did not tackle well, and Kansas State made them pay for it.
They allowed 8 consecutive scoring drives, 6 rushing touchdowns. Previous 6 games, they let up 6 rushing TDs total. So that should tell you a very little story about this game. No turnovers for the 4th consecutive game. That is probably the biggest thing that you take away from this game, right? Because Alex Grinch preaches turnovers. We need 2 turnovers per game. And while I was watching this game, I thought, well, this looks like the Mike Stoops defense from last year, 2018, 2017. Like, it just, big play after big play was let up. Like you said, Thompson was running all over him. And it just didn't feel like the Sooners defense this year. Now, I get it. 7 good games and 1 bad one. But it does concern you a little bit.
It very much does, because as a team, they looked unfocused. I mean, not only on defense, but special teams and offensively. There were a couple of plays offensively from this team that was very uncharacteristic from them. I mean, one of them, the trick play where I think it's number 83, Briscoe, throws a pass to Rambo down the field, and he literally, it hits his chest, bounces off. A K-State player catches it in full stride. Luckily, Hurts is able to tackle him in the open field, but that's just an example of uncharacteristic play that happened to them in this game.
And then this play right here at the end, which the Sooners they thought they had the onside kick, and it touches a player. It was ruled back. They didn't get that, but they recovered it, and it looked like they were going to have a decent chance of going down the field. I had no doubt in my mind that the Sooners would have scored if that drive kept going, because they had momentum. That's a big play, getting an offensive, getting the ball back. That's a big play, getting the onside kick back. So I was really confident in that, but when it gets turned back over to K-State, it's just not going to happen.
And the thing is, they got that ball at great field position. With the Jalen Hurts team, the way they were performing in the second half offensively, it
100%.
was a guaranteed, in my opinion, that they were going to go down there and score the football. The thing that was concerning for me is the outlining of the rule, and was the player on that onside kick blocked into the ball.
Big 12 commissioner or whoever does the rules, I'm sorry, I'm fluffing on that, but they said no.
And they said it was a good call, but the way they explained it, I don't know if it was thoroughly explained, because they said you can't review if a player was blocked into the ball.
Yeah, they were only reviewing
exactly
the other, if they touched it or not. So, 9.5 yards.
And I mean, as you can see, it touched the OU player on the elbow, and because of that, it was turned over to the Kansas State Wildcats. But that's something that should be addressed in the offseason, because if a player is blocked into the ball in an onside kick situation, that cannot be penalized by the player.
And you know what? It should have never even came down to this play. That's the biggest.
That's what everybody's saying.
It should have never came down to it. You know, you're the 5th-ranked team in the country. You're playing K-State. I know it's a different sort of offense, right? It's a different challenge for your defense, so I get that. But there were multiple times where the defense just let them drive down the field. There were multiple times where the Jalen Hurts offense didn't do anything to respond to K-State. So, yes, that was a tough play to end the game, but you also can't really complain about that because he had 5 to 10 chances to get back in this game.
But with that being said, though, and I've heard a lot of people say that this week, that it should have never came down to that, but it did come down to that. And the thing is, in this conference, any team, and it's been shown throughout the week. I mean, you saw TCU go on their home turf and beat Texas. Anybody can beat anyone at any point in the season. The thing is, you have to give everybody a fair shot. And what I'm saying is, they shouldn't have been in that situation, no, but they were in that situation. So the fact of the matter is, let's judge it fairly. Let's give everybody on that field an opportunity to be great. And if that was the case and that opponent did block that OU player into the ball, that's something that needs to be changed.
For sure. Sooners have never lost back-to-back games since the year 2000, so I don't expect them to lose their next game after the bye week. But how will this loss affect their college football playoff chances? They dropped from 5 to 10 in the AP Top 25 poll, and it just seems like it slipped a little bit.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They still have some opportunities to impress the voters while they're in season and, you know, get back up into the top 4. I mean, you beat a Baylor team that's undefeated right now and that looks to be the best opportunity for this Big 12 conference to get into the, you know, playoff series. If they go over there and beat them and then go into the Big 12 championship and beat them, and they would also need help from K-State, because K-State, which is 4-2 right now, but hasn't looked as great in the Big 12 play, which was why this was such a shocker for OU to come in there in their house and lose on homecoming. But if K-State continues to have a strong performance and, you know, build up their resume so it doesn't look like OU has that bad of a loss, there's still an opportunity for this team to make it into the playoffs.
There is, but at the same time, Texas loses to TCU this weekend. So that quality win that we all thought was really quality is not so quality anymore because Texas is now out of the AP out of the top 25.
Right.
So that hurts you, obviously. And then not a quality loss either with K-State because OSU just beat them.
Right. And
2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. So that ain't really a quality loss.
And here's the thing, and that's why I say K-State has to continue to improve and build a top-notch resume for OU to look, you know, up to par with some of these teams around the nation.
Yeah, so LSU, Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Penn State, top 5 right now. I really don't see Penn State staying there. Good for them that they're there right now, but I don't see them staying there. I really do think it might come down to someone like a Clemson. If OU can get back up there. But at the same time, just the Big 12 schedule, how are they going to weigh that? And it's not great. And their non-conference schedule has not been great.
And that's true. But to go back to what you're saying, you got to remember, this LSU team and this Alabama team play each other very soon.
They do. So that's the thing. There's a lot of college football left.
A lot of college football left. November 9th, LSU and Alabama play. Out of those two teams, only one of those teams can make it to the SEC championship game.
Yep.
So whatever team, if I'm thinking, if LSU beats Alabama, gives them one loss, they get into the SEC championship game, they take out whoever's there. As much as the voters are going to want to put Alabama in there, I don't think they can put an Alabama squad that has one loss, that lost to being to the SEC championship team, and then, you know, find a way to squeeze both of those guys in there, LSU and Alabama.
Well, I'll be honest, that would suck because I want to see Alabama and Oklahoma in the championship game, or at least in a semi-playoff match, because I want to see Jalen Hurts versus old team.
And the thing is,
100%.
It might be either one of the two in this situation, either two SEC teams, or they find a way to put a Big 12 team in there.
Man, how surprised were you on the K-State game watching it?
I was baffled by the situation.
Good word, baffled.
When they went up by 14 points, I was like, this cannot be happening right now. And you kind of saw how things were going, especially when they got those kicks on the kickoff where one guy fumbled it, and there seemed to be like throwing onside kicks into the situation. They knew they were kind of rolling here, and OU better watch out. And that was certainly something to be aware of. And they had a problem on their hands.
Yeah, and it's not like this has never happened to a team before.
Right.
College kids, they lose sometimes just because.
And it seems like OU normally has one of these trip up and slips ups once a year, and they've always been able to bounce back from it.
For sure. The last 2 years they've made the college football playoff with a loss. So it's not unprecedented. Lincoln Riley saying in his post-game interview on Saturday, we've been here before. We can come back from this. We can do it again. So we'll see how that happens.
Still a lot to play for.
Still a lot to play for. Oklahoma State, your alma mater.
Yeah.
Getting a big win over the weekend. We'll talk about their upset win versus Iowa State and TU football all coming up next. Stay with us right here on the End Zone.
Ignoring calls from your in-laws?
Nope.
That's a bold move. Ignoring other carriers and switching to Bravado?
Again?
Now that's a bolder move.
Hey, Karen. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm going through a...
Get $500 off any new phone when you sign up for the Premium Unlimited plan from Bravado.
You're right behind me?
Visit your nearest store today. Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back inside Port City Body Shop. All right, brother. Oklahoma State beating number 23 Iowa State over the weekend, 34-27. Their fourth straight win in Ames. Pretty impressive stuff there. What did you think?
I mean, first of all, we kind of owe that team. That was the Iowa State team that kind of cost us a national championship in 2011. So I'm payback. Anytime we go down there, we owe those guys. And we owe Brock Purdy a little bit for the situation from last year. They kind of pulled the okey doke on us where they trotted him out in the third series. And, OSU was a little caught aback and wasn't prepared for what he could do. So I'm glad to see this team go down to Ames and handle their business, especially winning at a defensive battle, a defensive game where this offense had a couple of 3-and-outs in the second half, and they weren't playing and firing on all cylinders like they were in the first, where they had some explosive plays. Shout out to Bray Johnson and Tylan Wallace and guys like Chuba Hubbard. Great explosive plays to get them on the board offensively, but defense held it down in the second half.
It's got to make you happy.
Man, I was so proud. 3 picks in the fourth quarter alone to seal that game. 1 pick six to take the lead. So Malcolm Rodriguez doing a great job. Also named today the Big 12 Player of the Week. So congratulations to him as well. Very strong performance by those guys, and I was happy to see it, man.
Malcolm Rodriguez, Wagner native, so that was pretty cool to see. Easily maybe the best play of the game just because it was the most important for Oklahoma State in terms of actually winning the game. It was the game-winning touchdown, when you take a look at it, the defense obviously I think stood out the most. Spencer Sanders only throws 1 interception. That was a good thing to see as well. Do you think OSU can build out this win? Because we thought OSU could build off the K-State win when they upset number 23, I believe, K-State, or 21, whatever it was. We thought they could build off that. They end up going to Texas Tech and losing, and then they lose to Baylor. So can they build off this one this time?
I think this is definitely a win that you can build on, because if you look at the Big 12, you kind of see how things are lining up. It was before that loss to K-State, it was OU, Texas, Baylor, and Iowa State were the top 4 teams that are all, vying for that spot in the Big 12 championship game. For the Cowboys to go to Ames and take down an Iowa State team that was, in the running for being in the Big 12 championship game, that's a big win, and something that those guys can build on. I mean, Coach Gundy even spoke about it this week or a couple of days ago. He said, I told this team that they didn't prepare and work hard enough to win in Stillwater versus Baylor. I told them they didn't prepare hard enough. I told them this week you have to change your mentality, you have to prepare, and you have to practice like you want to win. They did that, and they went out there and had success because of it. Now that's going to teach them and show them that the same preparation that you put for Iowa State is what you need to do the rest of the season. And with that, you'll have a successful season. We're talking about a team that was, almost, in danger of not making a bowl game, and we counted they needed 2 more wins, and we thought it was going to come from TCU and Kansas. Kansas is looking better now, so that's probably not a given. TCU just went to Texas, so that's definitely not a given. So getting this win versus Iowa State meant a lot, and hopefully it's something they can definitely build on.
Yeah, I think for sure Spencer Sanders can build out this one. Like I said, only 1 interception, 1 turnover after having a couple combined in the last couple games. So he's going to be really important going forward. But, yeah, you have TCU coming up next, who just came off the win versus Texas. Kansas almost beat Texas. There's a theme here. Texas does not really seem as powerful as we thought they would. Yeah, right?
I mean, going through a lot of injury situations over there in Texas and Austin, and if people don't want to hear about it, this is football. They don't care about your injuries. Just show me the baby. Don't tell me about the labor. But they are going through some rough times up there in Austin.
Yeah, for sure. Season high in snaps and pass attempts defended for the defense as well.
Yes. 88 plays.
Very good.
And that's, testament to this offense. And it's a win. We want to be positive, but this offense has to get better at stringing, a series together. It doesn't have to be, a touchdown every time, but 3 and outs kill your defense. That's very detrimental, and you can't have a bunch of those, especially in the second half when you're already tired. That's very rough for a defense to defend, just coming off the field and rolling right back on 3 plays later. Offenses are going to exploit that. So the offense has to help the defense out if they're going to want them to continue to have success like they did last week.
What's it say about the defense, and what's it say about guys like Malcolm Rodriguez, guys like Amen? How do you say his last name?
Ogbongbemiga?
I don't know if that's right.
That's not right? We'll practice it.
Ogbongbemiga. I believe that's how it is.
Then why did you ask?
Because I was just testing you to see if you knew. Amen Ogbongbemiga. That's how you say his name. And also Trey Sterling. The 3 guys that got interceptions in the 4th, what does it say about the ability to make big plays late in ball games?
Oh, it says that they're getting better. Well, you got to remember, these are all, Malcolm Rodriguez is a junior. Ogbongbemiga is
Ogbongbemiga. Come on, man.
Why are you trying me over here? He's getting better.
Just call him Amen.
He's getting better as well. Trey Sterling, a sophomore, he's getting as better. It shows the growth and the evolution of this defense. Jim Knowles, told us to be patient with them. He said that we're going to be able to put out some top-notch athletes defensively, and now we're starting to see that.
This is I think someone said this before, I can't remember who it was, but this is the Jim Knowles experiment right now. There's games where you see the defense excel, then you see the games where they don't succeed as much, and a lot of that is the Big 12, but I think people started having some serious questions about Jim Knowles, especially if they lost this game in ways they had lost versus Baylor, or ways they had lost versus Texas Tech. There were going to be some people maybe calling for his job because he's had a year and a half now to try and get his program going. But it was a really good response by his group to make sure that you kind of silence the doubters a little bit.
And here's the thing. With Jim Knowles, he's in a tough situation where his defensive line is a bunch of young guys that didn't get a lot of playing experience last year, so they're learning as they go under fire. So hopefully you can as a group, they can grow and evolve, and this defensive line can get better and better as the week goes on, and that will allow the defense to get better. All
right, we'll see what they can do versus TCU on Saturday, 2:30 kickoff. Take a breath for a second. Relax. Because we got to talk about TU. Another devastating, tough, whatever word you want to call it, sir, loss, this time to Memphis, 42-41. Last second, 29-yard field goal, goes wide left. They had a chance to win the game. They worked the clock down. They go the distance of the field. It was a perfect situation. Homecoming weekend, at home. Like, it was all perfect for this team to respond after the 3 straight losses they had prior. And your heart just breaks for the kids because I can't imagine any other heartbreaking way this team can lose. They went to 3 overtimes with SMU and lost. They've gotten blown out by Navy. And they lose on a last-second field goal. Like, how much more can this team go through? Man, it's crazy.
It's getting rough to be a Golden Hurricanes fan. I don't know what you can tell a team that's been through those kinds of losses, especially, SMU, now Memphis, on your home field, on homecoming. It's a tough situation. But the thing is, at least, if you want to look at the positive, they're playing tough against the top teams in their conference.
Yeah, oh yeah. They have a top 5 hardest schedule in the country by far.
A rough schedule, a very hard situation to go through, and they're still coming out here and competing every week against top-notch competition. They almost beat Memphis. They almost beat SMU. Both of those teams, both top teams in their conference. You can hang your hat on that, but this is football. And a win is a win, and a loss is a loss, no matter if it's 1 point or 30 points. So defensively, these guys got to be more disciplined, okay? There's times where you're not keeping contained, you're not staying in the right defense. Too many big plays for this Memphis ball club to be able to go down the field and score quickly. Just too many.
For sure. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, there is so much energy from TU right now. Like, they are playing their hearts out. Corey Taylor running the ball really well. Shamari Brooks running the ball really well. Zach Smith over 300 yards, no turnovers. Like, it was everything. This touchdown right here by Juan Carlos Santana, like, that was a big play. So, like, your heart breaks for the kids because they've worked so hard. The last couple of years have been so difficult for them. After, making a bowl game in 2016 and then sort of falling off flat the last couple of years, and they missed the field goal. Like, and the kicking situation in the SMU game was they had 2 chances to win it there, and they couldn't put it down. And Philip Montgomery's face right there said it all. He when that field goal missed, he fell down. He fell back, just put his head down like, this cannot be happening right now to my football team. It was almost unbelievable to watch because of what this team has been through. And like I said before, I don't know how much more they can take. Like, how do you come off that? How do you respond? I don't get it.
And here's the thing. Good teams do the little things right. I mean, that wasn't the only, mishap that happened in the kicking game.
For sure.
I mean, earlier in that game, they had a kick blocked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there's issues.
There's little things that a team has to do to get the win, to get the nudge, to get that extra oomph. That's the difference between they say football, it's a game of inches. There's little things throughout the game that you have to do to get that win, and they just haven't been doing those little things.
Yeah, but when you take a look at the rest of their season, like, they can't lose any more games or else they can't make the bowl game, and that's sort of their whole goal is to make the bowl game this season. They had a great defense. They had a quarterback finally. Like, it was all coming together, and now you can't lose. And, like, that's a hard thing to put on your kids.
That's a rough thing to ask for.
You've been in that position before.
I mean, I can't remember a situation where you're having to win and to get into a bowl game, but that's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
For sure. And maybe in high school, kids have gone through it, but it's totally different, right?
Right. It's just stakes are high.
How do you think they will respond?
I mean, you can't be sure. I mean, with the experience that they have on the team and them being a young team, it doesn't look good. I mean, you can kind of look at the past history and the resume of this season. It doesn't look like they've answered too well to adversity. So I don't want to say they're going to, fold up and throw the season away and say this is a wash. But, I mean, they're competitors, so hopefully they go out there and they compete.
I was at the TU press conference today. Chris Ivey, one of their guys, was talking. He said, our locker room is as close as it will be right now. I mean, these kids are sticking together because you have to. There's nothing else you can do, right?
I mean, everybody else is telling you you're not good.
Yeah.
Everybody around campus is down on you. The only people that are in there in the trenches battling with you and know what you're going through is your teammates, so it brings you closer together.
They got Tulane coming up next. We'll see how they do there. When we come back, we'll talk some NFL. We'll talk some high school football. Stay with us here on the End Zone.
Us at your local events and wondered just exactly what we do. We provide the highest quality cell phone service, specializing in outstanding coverage, both locally and nationwide. We're headquartered right here in Oklahoma, with multiple store locations in eastern Oklahoma. We provide the most affordable, unlimited talk, text, and data plans available. For a limited time, our unlimited plan is only $40 a month, and you can receive a free LG K30. Make sure you stop in now and enjoy our other amazing summer deals before they end. Visit Bravado Wireless store locations for all other details, or go to bravadowireless.com for more information. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
OMG, this dip is so good.
Double dipping that spicy guac? That's a bold move. Dipping into the ultimate discount on your unlimited wireless plan? Now that's a bolder move.
What?
Sign up for the basic unlimited plan from Bravado. Visit your nearest store today. Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
Welcome back inside Port City Body Shop. During the break, just found out Trae Young goes down with an injury. Hopefully he's okay. He's having a great start to his second year in the league, so hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's a strong kid. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk NFL now. We got some alumni doing some good things. You got a guy that is pretty well known in Tulsa.
Yes, I certainly did. The McLean High School student himself, now with the Oakland Raiders. Josh Jacobs had another good week. I mean, if he keeps going at this pace, he'll probably be the offensive rookie of the year. He's vying for that spot. Another good performance. This week they went on to Houston on the road and take on the Houston Texans. They suffered a close loss, but Josh Jacobs, another strong performance. 15 carries, 66 yards, and 2 catches with 15 yards to add to his total for the season. Very strong performance from him through this season. Hopefully he puts on a strong rookie campaign and maybe brings that Rookie of the Year trophy back to Tulsa.
Yeah, they would love to see that. Yeah. Love that stiff arm, by the way, against Green Bay.
Yes.
Or that hit, rather. That's what he did versus Oklahoma in that playoff game.
He certainly did.
So that's sort of his thing. My guy is a guy that we both had no idea was from Oklahoma, or at least went to high school in Oklahoma, George Kittle.
Yes.
San Francisco 49ers tight end. This dude puts up 6 receptions for 86 yards, and helping the 49ers right now do big things. Helping former Patriots quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, now with the 49ers.
You just had to throw that in there,
They are the only undefeated team other than the Patriots right now in the NFL, and Kittle's a big reason why. This dude is easily one of the top 3 best tight ends in football right now.
Yeah, definitely the case right now. I mean, the 49ers definitely have a weapon with him in the offensive line or in their wide receiving route tree. So he's done some great things for a couple of years now, and he's continuing this year.
Yeah, went to Norman High School, so I really happy for him. Really awesome that the 49ers are doing so well, 7-0. Like the Patriots, would be cool if they
Why do you keep
met in the
bringing
Super
up
Bowl.
that team?
I'm just saying, it would be cool if they met in the Super Bowl, wouldn't it?
No.
And former Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski, Colin Kittle, one of the best 2 tight ends right now. So
Interesting.
very interesting. All right, should we take a break or should we? No, we'll take a break, right?
Let's take a break.
All right, we'll take a break, reset, stop talking about the Patriots. I'm sorry, and we'll talk about some high school football. So stay with us.
Other wireless companies need 4-page brochures to explain plans that are too complicated and cost way too much. We are not like the others. We are Bravado Wireless. We offer 1 line of unlimited talk, text, and 4G LTE data for only $40 per month, with no minimum number of lines and no hidden fees. This is your year to be bold, connect fast at the best price. We live where you live, and we are proud to be a part of your community here in Eastern Oklahoma. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
You are called to be bold, to connect in your home, to your community, and to the world. From your land, we are Bravado Wireless. We are your high-speed internet provider based right here in Eastern Oklahoma. With the latest technology, we offer coverage in more underserved areas than ever, with 4G LTE speeds and no installation needed. We're faster and more reliable than the competition, and at $59.99 a month, we're more affordable too. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
All right, shout out Nate behind the scenes running our intro. I never get tired of looking at that great production piece by our guy Jay Dash.
He does an excellent job.
He does, and he's always prepared, is what I'm told.
Yeah.
Always prepared. So, gotta love him. You were at Hilldale versus Fort Gibson this week on the call, or last week I should say. 13-6 win for Fort Gibson. What did you like? What did you see? Tell me about the game because I wasn't there.
Oh, man, it was a tremendous game. Those young guys put on a strong performance in very, very tough conditions. You can't really tell on your screen there, but it was
a little bit. You can see a little bit.
It was coming down out there, man. I mean, it was definitely a running football game. And you know what? That Fort Gibson team they did more to get the nod. And, you know, finally, I think it was the first time in 5 years they had won that game and brought home the Rock in the Battle of the Rock. So Fort Gibson takes it, and it was a rainy game. It was one of those old school football games. I'm glad we played it on field turf because if it was real grass, it would have been a muddy one.
Battle of the Rock. If I get this correctly, they actually get a rock.
They took a rock out of the Arkansas River.
Oh my!
And they shined up, I guess, and made a trophy out of it. But
wow!
But it was a good one.
Nice. There you go. Again, 13-6 win for Fort Gibson. No game this week for you guys. Take the week off. Enjoy it. Final thoughts today on anything we discussed. The biggest thing that stood out to you?
Honestly, this OU team has to bounce back and perform to where they're used to performing at it. They had a rough week, and everybody's telling them right now that they're not good and how could you lose, and everybody's being rough on it. They have to stay together as a team, come back and be dominant. TU has to do the same thing. They got to come together as a team and, you know, try to get these wins to make themselves bowl eligible. OSU defense, keep on doing what you're doing. Offense, please, first downs, especially in the second half.
I have no doubt that OU will bounce back. Not sure about TU, but when you have Jalen Hurts at quarterback and the leadership of Lincoln Riley and the leadership of Alex Grinch, there's a decent chance they bounce back. So we'll see what happens there. That is former OSU safety Deion Imade. My name is Jacob Toby. Thanks so much for watching tonight. For our entire Bravado Wireless crew, this is us saying so long. Good night from the Endzone. See you later.